Today I'm going to take a look at another fact check by this outfit called Logically. So the claim that they're fact checking is that chest binders cause pain and injury in 97% of cases, and they've marked this as false. So this is actually referring to some kind of chest binding garment for girls to basically suppress their breasts to make them look more flat chested and therefore more male. Now, the fact checker is claiming that binders are safe when used appropriately and within recommended guidelines. And the context of this is that there was an article in the Telegraph newspaper about a transgender advocacy charity known as Mermaids, who apparently have actually been providing these chest binding garments to minors, regardless of whether the parents know about it or consent to it if they are aware of what's going on. So if we look at the actual Telegraph article, because this fact checker has a bad habit of not providing links to what they're fact checking. So apparently the Telegraph have been doing some kind of investigation where they discovered that the charity has been providing these garments regardless of whether the parents know about it or approve of it or not. And it refers to a study that apparently showed that more than 97% of people who use chest binders suffer health problems as a result. But they do caveat this that the study did not look at the impact on under 18s, which is actually the age group that the charity is dealing with here, and that's been referenced. If we actually go to the study, so this we can see the abstract here, and we can see in the abstract that it says that over 97% of people who use chest binders reported at least one of 28 negative outcomes. They do look at different kinds of binders, so there's a commercial binders, but they're also looking at kind of do-it-yourself homemade ones with elastic bandages and things like duct tape or plastic wrap, which are clearly not the kind of things that the Mermaids charity is providing. But even with the commercial binders there, we can actually see that there was 20 out of 28 negative outcomes were experienced. In fact, looking at it, it actually seems that the commercial binders produce more negative outcomes than the sort of more do-it-yourself ones with bandages or things like duct tape and plastic wrap. If we go back to the fact check here, so they're actually asserting that the claim is false and that the binders do not pose significant health risks when worn properly. Now, it's difficult to know on what basis they're actually claiming this, because they do not actually provide any evidence at all for this assertion. They just simply say it is the case. So I really don't understand how they can make the claim that chest binders cause pain and injury in 97% of cases is actually false. It would seem to me that something like misleading or unsubstantiated might be more accurate. So yeah, the verdict again there at the bottom, it says binders are safe when used appropriately and within the recommended guidelines, but they don't actually provide any evidence for that. Certainly the Mermaids charity does provide advice on how to use these things safely, but that in itself is not evidence that they are safe and don't cause any health problems. So I think the takeaway from this is that with a fact checker, you really need to look into this yourself in more detail. Which would involve in this case looking at the actual Telegraph article and then looking at the study. So I don't think I've got access to the whole of the study, but certainly the abstract there gives a pretty good overview of what they found.